glad you're here. I was really excited to do this blog post specifically because it is so incredibly powerful and you can use it with any animal, basically anything that has a soul. You can use it to train them to do any skill. It works, it works, it works, no matter how difficult the skill. It is a very methodical plan in how to attack any single goal you're trying to train. So, what is this magical thing? It is a process called rewarding for approximations through splitting. Basically, you've probably heard this a million times before. You have to take a single step to go the whole staircase. You need to walk before you can run a marathon. It's exactly that same type of approach that we're going to use with our dogs. So what we want to do is we want to reward for the baby steps that our dogs are taking towards this main goal that we have in our brain. I don't set out when I'm teaching a dog to sit. I don't ask them or expect them to sit fully before I've ever trained the skill. Just assume I can ask one time and they're going to do the behavior. Sometimes, sure, I might get lucky, but there's those who have no idea that this motion means to sit down. So what I do is I think, what are some of the things that my dog does to get into a sit? What does that look like? When my dog is standing, their head and haunches and tail are all in alignment. But when my dog sits, their head comes up and the haunches go down. So I am going to reward for an approximation, and I'm going to split this skill of sitting into baby pieces. One baby piece might be that the head and the chin goes up slightly. I would mark yes and treat. I put a treat at my dog's nose and I go a little bit more up over their head and they raise their chin up even more. I would mark yes and give a treat. This is not a full sit. I'm rewarding for the dog showing me behaviors that look towards going to a sit. The more I can reward for the approximations and the baby steps that are taken towards that goal, my dog's motivation will stay high and they'll be more willing to work. I will also be giving them feedback that although we haven't done it, they're going in the right direction. And yes, our dogs need that feedback. Our dogs will be willing to work and you will achieve the goal. So much so that over time, your dog's head will go up even farther until it is a strain on their neck. They go, I can't raise my neck or my head any farther, so I'm going to lower my haunches down, and that allows for me to raise my head back even more. Boom, yes and treat. I'm going to reward for that. And the more that I do that, the more the dog will realize, oh, the more I put my haunches down, the higher my chin can go. Yes and treat, to the point where the haunches will be on the floor, and voila, you have a sit. At that point, I mark it with my yes, and I reward heavily. It's called a jackpot. I'm boom, 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 treats, 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 treats. Because we hit the main goal, that big goal out there. You should celebrate. But that doesn't mean that you don't have mini parties along the way to celebrate each and every step to get there. It's just a big celebration at the end. So I'm going to show you this in action. Now, like I said, this is so powerful it works across the species. I can train anything with a soul how to do any skill by splitting it up into manageable pieces and rewarding along the way. So I'm going to show you how I do this with my puppy Annika. She's about going on 7 months old. And she's going to be learning how to do a hold. So I can stick something in her mouth and she's going to hold it there until I give her the release command to drop it. Now, she has a little bit of history. I've already started her on this, but by no means do we have a full hold yet. I'm really looking forward to you seeing this in action because I was very pleasantly surprised what happened during this training session, and nor did I expect it. So, and you'll notice by my reaction that I was not expecting it to happen, for sure. So I'm really looking forward to you watching it. Then right after that, you're going to watch me working with my latest adoptee, which is Sai, and he's a 3-month-old goat. He has not been brought up to be around humans much, and so I'm going to be bonding with him through training, and I'm going to show you how I'm teaching him to spin in a circle. This will be the first time he has ever done this, ever. And I wanted to show you the progression and how powerful this method is to get the behavior that you want. Following that, I'll show you with my pig Sipsy, who's a 1.5 years, and she is learning how to shoot a soccer ball into a goal. So this is very specific. They're 3 very, very separate skills, 3 very separate animals, and yet we are working towards big, big main goals. So stay tuned and watch Annika, Sai, and Sipsy do their magic. Yes. To start Annika, I am just warming her up by rewarding her for coming towards the object and touching it with her nose. That would be a baby step towards our main goal of holding the object in her mouth. She's got to come forward and touch the object and then open her mouth to grab. So I'm just going to reward for these approximations here. Now I have switched to waiting for her to open her mouth to start to grab the object. We have done a little work before, and this is where we have practiced, and so she's done it before, so I know she can do it again. If I were working with a new dog, I would not ask for this kind of behavior so quickly. Now I'm asking for her to not only put her mouth on the item, but still her mouth. So it's one chomp, not a whole bunch of little chomps on the item. Yes! Yes! Oh. Pause. Yes. Ready? Oh. Ready? Yes. Good girl. Ready? Oh my gosh, let's get you set up again. Ready? Okay. Ready. Steady. Yes, good girl. Well done. Yes! Good girl. Way to go, Toots. Oh, you're a good girl. Ready? So give me that thing. Yes, good girl. Yay. Jackpot. Jackpot. Get him, 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 get him. Good girl. Get all those pieces. Good girl. You're a rock star. Over here. Good. Ready? Oh, are you so ready? Oh, give it to me, Mama. Yeah, ready. Hold on. Wait. Okay. Yes, good girl. Here I am starting to train my goat Sai how to spin in a circle.
Yes.
He's never done this before, so I am only having him bend his head for him to get a treat.
Yes.
Watch how this progresses.
Almost. Yes.
I am just asking Sai to bend a little more and a little more and a little more each time. But I
Yes,
always make
good
sure
boy.
that if he doesn't do well on one step, that I don't move any farther. I want to make sure that he still feels like he's doing a good job, so I need to change my behavior to ensure that that happens.
Yes. Yes, good boy. Yes, good. Well done. Good. Yes. Excellent. Oh, A plus, bud. Good. Good job. Yes. Excellent. Good. Yes.
Here I am working with my pig Sipsy. My main goal or end goal is that she can push a ball into a basket or make a score. So I'm going to start her here by asking her to nudge the ball. She has started this skill before, so this is fairly simple, but I wanted to warm her up.
Yes. Yes. Sipsy, get your treat. You get a treat. Come here. You're taking out the ball. Come here.
Notice how now that she is nosing the ball, I am requiring her to push the ball for a short distance before I mark and reward. We are on to the next step.
Good girl. Yes.
Now that she is readily pushing the ball, I've added the bucket there as the goal. She has to nudge the ball towards the bucket and she'll get rewarded.
Yes, good girl. You scored a basket. Good girl. Very good. Very good. Yes, good girl.
Notice how Sipsy is facing the ball and not the ball towards the bucket. So when she goes to nose the ball, it's not going to go in the bucket because she doesn't know that the ball needs to go in the bucket as a sure expectation yet. She does not have control of the ball. So I need to reposition her so she can do it with success. Remember, we always want our animals to be successful. So I split and made the exercise easier for her to win.
Come here. Good. Yes, good girl.
And in that moment, I said yes at the time the ball went into the bucket, so she then got feedback that that is what we are working on. Watch as she progresses.
Yes. Get it, Zip. Not you in the bucket, the ball in the bucket. Come here. Yes. Good. Good girl. Come here. Yeah. Yes.
Notice how the ball is really close to the bucket? That would be a split. I'm going to reward for the approximation. Eventually the ball will be a long ways away from the goal,
but I need to start small so she gets the idea of what I'm asking. So I keep the ball really close to the bucket, so with one push of her snout, she wins, and I'm able to reward her. Over time, the ball will be pushed back further and further and further, but not until she gets this step successfully every time.
Yes!
Wasn't that just awesome? Isn't it so neat to watch these animals work? I'm just floored every time I go back and watch video, even as I'm doing it, because I don't have really large expectations for my animals at each and every training session. I watch over time how they make progress. But I keep everything manageable at each training session, and pretty much by and large, they exceed what my expectations are, and it just blows my mind. This whole method of splitting and then rewarding for the approximation is just so powerful. And you can do it with any animal. They do it with beluga whales and elephants and monkeys and you name it. And it's no different than what I did with children when I was teaching. I would definitely, I would teach them the alphabet before they read, but I also did not teach them the whole alphabet at once. I split it into manageable bite-sized pieces for them. It's so powerful, and you're already doing this in your life. I am sure of it. And I could pull out example after example. But now if we just take this thing that we're doing already in lots of areas of our lives and implement it into our dog training, you are going to see tremendous results no matter what you want to train your dog. Just be thinking, what is a baby step that I could do that would get us towards our goal? And if your dog cannot achieve that baby step, think about how you can take that baby step and split it even smaller, because they can't achieve that whole step yet. But how can we slice it even thinner for them to start making progress? So powerful. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what you accomplish with your dog. Feel free to take video, post it here. I would love to see what you're doing and how it's working for you. And as always, please feel free to ask questions or ask for more clarity if it's needed. I'm more than happy to help you out. It's important to me that you reach your goals. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you next time.